Welcome, women and men. So we're going to review questions about the American Revolutionary War and the reasons. Really, the reasons were what? Taxation and not having representation. So, the colonies were established long, long ago. And everything was fine and calm. England changed that, though. In just a few years, the good, calm community went to a very, very unstable, bad community. The French and Indian War had just finished. And that forced the French to leave North America. So all of their land now was English. So the English won the war, so the French had to move out. The colonists, however, wanted to move west because all of the new land was acquired, and the Indians lived there. And they lived very, very different types of lives. So when England finished the war, they didn't want another war to happen with the Indians. So they made it illegal for colonists to move past a certain line where the Indians would be living. And the colonists didn't like that. They didn't think the English government should be deciding that kind of thing. So what was the biggest impact from the war? There was so much debt and loss of money. The government in England decided that the people who should be paying for the war were the colonists. The colonists were angered by that. This first way that they wanted to pay for it was the Stamp Act, and the colonists were angered and outraged by that. They wanted a representative to go to England to vote for the colonists and their interests. So the Sons of Liberty were a group of people who kind of led the revolt. With the Boston Massacre, they kind of described it as lots of killings and everything like that. However, that actually was not what happened. They named it that because they wanted people to not like England. And they wanted the colonists to rise up. Number 7. What's the Townshend Act? Well, it was a tax on tea, glass, so the colonists decided to boycott it, which means not using those products. The women really did a big part in this part of the protest. They needed people as a group to protest and boycott. So the Stamp Act the colonists weren't angry about the law. They were angry about the government in England having taxed them without representation. The famous quote is, "No taxation without representation." Number 9. How does England punish the colonists after the Boston Tea Party revolt? They didn't care about the tea tax, they cared about the fact that they didn't have representatives. So they threw the tea in the harbor. England government was angry and punished Boston by making another law that stopped all boats coming and going. All army people who killed people here in the colonies were brought back to England. And so the colonists started to notice they all were having the same kind of connections and they wanted to support each other, but they were not ready for a full revolt. But they were starting to show their support. Number 10. So how did England control the colonies? Taxes. Number 11. So a few of the colony members came together and had a meeting. Number 12. Number 13. Colonies had the perspective of kind of being isolated. They weren't really all connected like they are today. There were one independent colony and another independent colony. It's like different countries nowadays. Their identity was not American, or it was more they were South Carolina, or they weren't American. But that would change soon. Number 15. people wanted to stop. They didn't understand all of the problems that they were having, and that the group that was revolting were having. Number 16. So the king can allow but the colonies didn't want that. Number 18. The War of the Colonies in England started down the road. And it was a long, hard war. The colonists wanted to be free. After the war started, they can't go back. The war was going to happen. After America was established, Thank you.